Hello everybody, I'm Bean. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a follow-up video, if you would. We're going to be following up on the video I made a couple weeks ago. I think it was my second video, and that would be a follow-up on the Nintendo Switch. Now last time I talked about the press conference they had and all the new features they announced. I talked about all the games that they announced. I talked about the amiibo support that everyone was so worried about, and we got it. It's in that right stick. I talked about the confirmed touchscreen, because some people were thinking that it wasn't going to be a touchscreen because they didn't want to copy the Wii U or whatever. But anyway, let's not focus on a video I already did. Let's get into the new one. What I'm looking at here, I'm looking at the official Nintendo specifications page, and the first thing we see is a little diagram of the Switch with a couple numbers correlating to what it is. We got the game card slot. We got the slide rails, the power button, the volume rockers. Looks like we got front-facing speakers, which is nice. We got a brightness sensor on the front, so that's pretty much it for the front diagram. For the back, we have obviously the kickstand. We have a micro SD card slot right under the kickstand. We have another Joy-Con slide rail. We have a USB Type-C connector in the back for charging, and they'll probably sell some extra accessories that you can plug into there. So the main thing that I'm excited for today is the Nintendo Switch console technical specifications. They give us the size, they give us the weight, they give us the exact screen size and resolution. So the size of it, it's going to be a 102mm by 236mm by 13.9mm with Joy-Cons attached. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be a good size. The weight is approximately 279 grams. With Joy-Con controllers attached, it'll be 398 grams. It's pretty, I think that'll be a good weight. The screen is a capacitive touchscreen that we already know that. It'll be 6.2-inch LCD screen, and it'll have a resolution of 1280 by 720 resolution, which I believe we already knew that too. Now this is where Nintendo's getting a little sneaky here. They got CPU and GPU just covered as NVIDIA customized Tegra processor, which isn't a lie. That's what's going to be in it. Obviously, that's what they put, but they could have gave us, a little something to work with here. Maybe a processor name, so we could know exactly how much power is going into it. I am excited, although, for the system memory, because it says we're getting 32 gigabytes of system memory, but it says, please note, a portion of the internal memory is reserved for use by the system. But even so, let's say it takes up 16 gigabytes of memory. That still leaves way more than enough to use for games. And I don't think the system would take up something like 16 gigabytes of memory. That's a lot. I mean, maybe 8 gigabytes of memory a system could use just to make it run smoothly. But even so, that leaves us with way more than enough gigabytes of memory to run pretty much any game that we've already seen, or at least I would believe so. Under communication features, we have wireless LAN / Bluetooth 4.1. And then it says in TV mode, it's also possible to use a wired LAN connection via a commercially available wired LAN adapter. Video output, we have a maximum resolution of 1920 by 1080 with a, I guess it's a capped 60 FPS. And then it says, please note, output via HDMI cable in TV mode, in tabletop mode, and handheld mode. The maximum resolution is 1280 by 720, which matches the screen resolution. In audio output, it supports linear PCM 5.1 channel. Please note, output via HDMI cable in TV mode. So when you have it plugged into the dock, the audio will just be outputted with the HDMI and not through the audio head jack of your system or the speakers on it. The speakers on the Switch are stereo. That's all they give us. USB terminal, obviously Type-C. They already told us that. Used for charging or for connecting to the Nintendo Switch dock. Great. The headphone/mic jack is a stereo output, which doesn't give you much, but this little headphone mic jack is the second point of a lot of question for the Nintendo Switch. The first one, I think a lot of people were like, what is Nintendo doing? Is the CPU/GPU, when they just gave us the NVIDIA custom Tiger processor, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to tell you anything. The headphone/mic jack, a lot of people are like, well, I thought Nintendo told us that we're only going to be able to, communicate with our friends through our cell phones, because that's what they said in the press conference. That's what I told whoever watched that video and then watches this video. That's what I told them. But I guess they'll be selling headphones, which is great. We'll get a nice Nintendo headset, maybe get custom character headsets in there. That would be pretty cool. Moving on to the game card slot, it says exclusively for Nintendo Switch game cards. So I think that confirms everything that we already knew. Like, we won't be able to plug any 3DS games into it, no DS games into it. It's just for Switch games. It's just like a little confirmation, like, stop dreaming, it's not going to happen. There's a micro SD card slot. It says compatible with micro SD, micro SDHC, and micro SDXC memory cards. Nothing to be too excited about. Please note, an update via the internet connection is required to use micro SDXC memory cards. Okay, next up we have a sensor. There's an accelerometer, a gyroscope, and a brightness sensor, which is the accelerometer and the gyroscope, I would believe, are just for motion controls, and the brightness sensor will be to adjust the screen, obviously. The internal battery is a lithium-ion battery, no surprise there. Battery capacity is 4,310 milliamp hours. Please note the internal battery cannot be removed. If the battery needs to be replaced, we plan to offer paid replacement via Nintendo customer service, which is pretty cool, because then when you want your batteries changed, you don't go to like some third market company in the mall that's in one of those little booths in the middle of the walkway and like, oh, can you change my battery? No, you can send it right to Nintendo. They'll do it for you the way that they know how, because they built it. And I think I'll trust Nintendo a little more to switch the battery out for me than some third party company that you don't even know what they're doing. All right, battery life. This is the third kind of eye catcher in this list. It says battery life can last for more than 6 hours, but will vary depending on the software and usage conditions. Now remember, if you watched the last Nintendo Switch episode I did, if you could call it an episode, I used an example for a fast draining battery game like Skyrim, but they give us an example here. It says, for example, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can be played for roughly 3 hours on a single charge. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can only be played for 3 hours when the maximum they said was 6 hours. So now that makes me believe that the only games that you're gonna get 6 hours on are games like Has Been Heroes and really like softcore games like that. So basically, you're not going to be getting 6 hours with any, higher end game, if you could call it that. One thing that my eyes kind of drawn to is the charging time. It says the charging time is approximately 3 hours. Please note, this is the time taken to charge while the console is in sleep mode. So if the console's in sleep mode, you can get it charged in 3 hours, but if you're charging it while using it, it'll probably be doubled. The website doesn't say that, but that's what I'm going to be guessing. That'll probably be 6. Maybe it'll double it. Maybe it'll just add an hour or two. But then after the technical specifications, they give us a little diagram showing TV mode, tablet mode, and handheld mode, which is pretty cool. Then one thing that got a lot of people excited was the home menu screen. I believe we were shown this before, but we get like a picture now showing us like the little circles on top could be friends, but those could be the profiles that are put on the Switch, showing that like a profile picture is going to be like Nintendo characters like Bowser, Link, and Peach. You can see the 2 games that are on here. You can see 1-2 Switch, you can see Mario Kart 8, and you can see Down here we got news. I'm guessing that the second icon is a shopping bag, which would be the e-store. We got photos maybe. We got a Joy-Con icon. I don't know what that would be. Maybe that's like a calibration. But then you got settings next to it and then a power button. So the home screen, from what I can see, I'm liking it. I like the way it's designed. It looks very Nintendo. Like, even though they said we're gonna steer away from the Wii and the Wii U, I think it still does. They still got that kind of Wii U-esque like theme, maybe, like the all white, and then you got the different colored, at least the different colors for like the news and whatever. I think that still kind of looks a little Wii U-esque. If we scroll down a little bit, we got the capture screenshots in an instant. That's on the left Joy-Con. And like I said before, later on that will be turned into a video capture. I don't know if it's going to be timed like the Xboxes, like you can only do it for 5 minutes or not. But yeah, in a later update, that'll become a video capture as well as a screenshot. They give us a little diagram on multiplayer. This is you can link your consoles together. It says by connecting with other Nintendo Switch consoles, you can enjoy local multiplayer, which does confirm that you can actually be at a random basketball court playing basketball and then just stop playing basketball so you can play virtual basketball without any like extra paid service or anything like that. It also says connect via the internet, go online and play with far-off friends and users from all over the world via Wi-Fi. With a LAN adapter, you can connect to the internet via a wired connection when playing in TV mode. So that's pretty cool. And then in small text it says, to play online, you will need to subscribe to the paid Nintendo Switch online subscription service. This paid service will be available free of charge until its official launch in autumn 2017. So if you have the Nintendo Switch before then, enjoy your free multiplayer because they're going to be charging you out the ass for it after autumn 2017. And then right here we got this awesome new Link Breath of the Wild amiibo, and this is their amiibo functionality they're showing off here. This is the last thing on the page. You can see that it's hovering over the right joystick of the right Joy-Con. Don't get those two words mixed up. Joystick, Joy-Con, very similar words. That just shows that the NFC touch point, that's what they call it, is on the right Joy-Con, but specifically on the right joystick. So that's basically all they have in this new, if you could call it new, Nintendo Switch little article thing, like specifications page. The stuff on here really isn't totally new information, but it pretty much sets into stone everything that we've been told. It's put down in writing. Like, they could have said something during the press conference that they just completely changed and then just were like, you know what, we're not going to tell you. But now everything's on here. Everything's set up for that March 3rd date. I hope everyone's excited for it. Please leave in the comments again if you didn't do it on the last video. If you're going to buy a Nintendo Switch, comment which game you're going to buy on launch. I'm going to buy Breath of the Wild on launch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been Bean. Please leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, and if you're feeling real nice today, why don't you subscribe?